Hi, Lindsay Koskanemi here. I just wanted to share really quickly a comparison of the last 4 fiscal years of property taxes in Iowa Colony. Just taking, for example, a home valued at $273,000, which you don't see on that chart in 2022, assuming there was a 10% property valuation increase annually, which is very feasible. Now, the county cannot exceed 10% in any one year. That's not including any improvements made during that year. But if you have a homestead exemption, they can't exceed 10%. So I've used that just as a place point. So if you look, so $300,000 in 2023, going up 10% every year. That's your appraised home value. And then the adopted tax rate of almost 52 cents per $100 evaluation. That has remained the same the last 4 fiscal years, this year included. That was a jump of 3 cents from 2022. I've got that at the bottom there. There was approximately 49 cents per $100 of valuation. So as you can see, even when you hold the same tax rate, if you are assessed a higher valuation than the previous year by the county, you are going to pay more in taxes. And I've outlined that there. That is the cover sheet for each one of the adopted budgets the last 4 fiscal years. It is really small, but as you can see in 23, they raised an additional $609,000 with the additional taxes generated by by raising it 3 cents. In FY24, holding that same rate, they raised an additional almost $40,000. In FY25, an additional $695, almost $96,000. And in FY26, this year, there was an additional $876, almost $1,000 generated by holding that same tax rate. So in the last video I did, I provided the property taxing jurisdictions in Iowa Colony. To clarify, we are in Brazoria County Drainage District number 5. Sometimes the mud district numbers will vary. I'm in number 31, so that's what I'm using here. As you can see, I've done the last 4 years of tax rates for all jurisdictions, and some of these you can see did decrease. Take, for example, the drainage district between 2022 and 2023. I think they paid off some debt, which resulted in 2 cents less in taxes that year. That is just a reference for you, and you can find those numbers, the historical tax rates, on the Brazoria Central Appraisal. Real quickly, I want to show you how you can determine what the value of 1 cent of property tax revenue is. If you take the current year's adopted rates and your budget numbers, so your general fund is your M&O, or your maintenance and operations, your total debt, your principal and interest owed in that year, which is also called INS, or interest and sinking. That comes up with 15.3 million. That is coming again from the adopted FY26 budget. There's the segregated tax rates right there for your M&O and INS. It totals what we are paying this year in property taxes, almost 52 cents per $100 valuation. If you deduct 1 cent from that and calculate out what the property rate times the $15.3 million is, you get a difference of $153,700 and almost $87. So that is the difference. That's what 1 penny of property tax revenue makes in Iowa Colony in this fiscal year. It's a good gauge when they're going through the budget adoption process, which typically happens in late July. They'll start doing workshops, and then they'll finalize everything usually in August. And that's a good gauge. Do you need to move the needle more to increase the tax rate to cover all of the operational costs, or can you afford to give back and lower taxes? So that's a good measurement. This is the city's org chart and comes directly from the fiscal year 26 adopted budget book. As you can see on the very top of the org chart, are the citizens of Iowa Colony. That's you, that's me, the constituents. Beneath that are the um, elected officials, our mayor and council, and beneath that are the appointed officials, employees such as the city attorney and city manager, as well as non-employees such as our boards and commissions representatives. But I just wanted to point that out real quickly because I am running for council position too, and this is something I will keep in perspective if you vote for me. So, again, this is another segment of the People's Table. I'm looking forward to bringing more information to help educate the public and make you aware of what it is we are all paying for. Thank you so much for your time, District.